to the CGTN live broadcast. I'm Yang Chengxi, and I'm in a helicopter right now above this beautiful town of Boao in southern China's Hainan province. Now we are flying above seawater, and we're approaching the venue of the annual Boao Forum for Asia. Now, if you look outside of the beautiful field, we can see that there's a long stretch of naturally formed beach called the Jade Belt. Now, it is one of the major tourist attractions for this little town, which built its economy around the tourism industry. Now, it is such a breathtaking landscape. No wonder that the venue of the Boao Forum sits not very far from here. Now, the BFA will kick off 2 days from now on. It is one of the highest profile economic and business meetings in the Asian region, and it will be held for 4 days. Now, this is the single biggest event for the town of Boao and its 30,000 citizens. Now, the history of this town dates back to the Song dynasty in the 11th century. The name has many origins, interestingly. One of them comes from a Chinese folklore. According to the story, Boao was actually the name of a grandson to the Dragon Emperor, who is a mythical god in charge of the South China Sea. Now, Boao was born here and had the head of a dragon, but the body of a turtle. So the Dragon Emperor was allegedly very angry and ashamed about this deformed child, so he cast his belt here, forming the Jade Belt Beach, which we saw earlier, to stop Boao from coming back to the ocean. Now, at the end, Boao was transformed into this little island area we see here. So according to the story, now the Dongyu Island here in Boao is actually the body of the creature. Now, interesting fact, we actually have a stone sculpture of the mystical Boao right outside of the forum venue. Now, another origin of the name can be found in the ancient Chinese language. Now, Boao literally means lots of big and fat fish. Now, which is a fitting name. For centuries, this has been a town of fishermen. Now, aquaculture remained the most important way for the locals to make a living. That's until 30 years ago when the Chinese government named Hainan a province of China and started to increase the construction of much needed infrastructure in this town. Now, in 2001, Boao received another boost as it was designated the permanent site for the annual Boao Forum for Asia. Now, what we are seeing right now is the venue for the BFA, which I believe will be jam-packed with participants and media in 2 days. And as a result, the town became well-known throughout China and even the Asian continent. Now, after 17 years, today this is a town with many hotels built around this forum venue. Now, a substantial number of citizens here are moving away from agriculture to now work in the services industry. Now, their income have been lifted as well. Now, the local government of Boao have this strategy of further cementing the role of this town as a tourism town. As you can see, there are also many greenlands and villas and golf courses around here. Because Boao has a geological advantage to be a tourist attraction. It has beautiful beaches, lots of sunlight, especially good today, and more importantly, it's not too hot for southern China. This is actually the coldest place in Hainan province due to frequent sea wind passing through here. Now, however, the development of this town is not without its challenges, mainly due to the fact that the economic structure of this place relies a bit too much on this annual forum and the brief surge of tourism demands it brings. Now, many hotels can be fully booked around this time of year and will be underbooked for the rest of the year. So it is the wish of many locals here that the economy of this town can diversify in the future and be more resilient. Now, looking forward to the forum, more than 200 policymakers, business heads, and as well as academics will attend this 4-day meeting and discuss an open and innovative Asia for a world of greater prosperity, which is the meeting's theme for 2018. Now, this is a highly anticipated meeting since this will be Chinese President Xi Jinping's 4th time to attend the BFA in the past 8 years. He's expected to talk about details of the policies that were put forth in the 19th CPC National Congress. In President Xi's previous speeches to the forum, he talked about his vision of building a community with a shared future for mankind, which is an idea that gained consensus among the international community. And we expect to see him elaborate on those visions. Also, analysts say they expect the president to stress the importance of free trade and globalization, which is especially crucial right now as the world's two biggest economies, USA and China, are in a heated trade spat. Now, what's also worth focusing on are speeches from China's new central bank governor Yi Gang and new finance minister Liu Kun. They are expected to explain the policy directions of this new team of top economic policy makers, and the market is watching very closely, as the PBOC Governor Yi said earlier that he will announce some new moves to further open up China's finance sector during the event. Now we are flying along the Wanchen River, which is a very major river tributaries that flows into the ocean near Boao. Now, many other political dignitaries are attending the event, including UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, International Monetary Fund Managing Director Christine Lagarde, and Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. Now, also participants will join the more than 60 discussion sessions to talk about world issues with an Asian perspective. Now, this year's Boao will focus around four major topics. Now, Belt and Road and globalization, and open Asia, innovation, as well as reform and opening up. Now, the first of them is, of course, Belt and Road Initiative. It has taken center stage at previous Boao Forum. In 2015, President Xi elaborated on the concept to the forum's guests, saying that the countries along the route and from across the world are welcome to join. As of December 2017, China has signed over 100 cooperation agreements with 86 countries and international organizations. So over the past 5 years, the initiative has gradually become a reality. As this year's Boao Forum, it is expected to again be a key topic. Now, the president said the BRI will help countries align their development strategies and form complementary plans, now with no intention of replacing existing regional mechanisms or initiatives. Now, the initiative prioritizes infrastructure construction and fill gaps in investment that have hindered the Asian continent's development. So what has it bring to Asia as the region seeks to build a more closely integrated community? We'll expect discussions from that. Now, with the Belt and Road Initiative, China is now seen as one of the strongest voices in the international community for globalization. But the concept, which is built around free trade, is standing at a crossroad lately, as the U.S. Retaliated just this morning against China by raising even more tariffs. Many are concerned. I will interview several companies attending the forum and get a perspective from the business sector, which is under the direct or indirect impact of these recent actions. So many are already calling for a constructive joint solution to the recent tension between the world's two biggest economies. Another main theme is that's very important is, of course, reform and opening up, which this year is the policy's 40th anniversary. Now, thanks to it, China has transformed itself from a poor country to one of the most dynamic economies of the world. Now, participants will discuss such topics as capital market reform, monetary policy, China's value-added tax reform, urbanization, etc. Now, with China planning to widen market access in sectors like telecommunication, healthcare, education, this market is expected to present greater opportunities to world investors as it becomes more open. Now, as you can see, we've been flying for a while now, and you can see from the footage that Boao is a place with plenty of green trees and clean water, lots of natural resources. Now, this is representative of the Hainan province in China. This is a place with very rich natural resources. Now, however, over-dependence on these resources have been hindering the area's development capabilities and long-term competitiveness. The local governments have been turning the province into an international tourist island. The effects are very encouraging. Now, total visits to Hainan reached 67 million last year, and that is 125% higher than that of 8 years ago. Now, analysts say there is also a substantial space for growth in the food processing industry, building on the region's agriculture advantage. Now, due to the abundant sunshine and geological variety, Hainan is also an ideal research and development, as well as testing place for new energy cars and artificial intelligence piloting system. Now, according to the Hainan Provincial Government Work Report this year, the province will take an active role in collaborating with the Pan-Pearl River Delta cities, as well as the greater Bay Area of China, to deepen cooperation with Guangdong Province, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. So there is so much possibilities to this place. I hope you now have a deeper understanding of Boao, Hainan, and of course, the coming Boao Forum for Asia. And a lot of things to look forward to, and the forum is just 2 days away. So for now, let's enjoy the scenery of this beautiful town, Boao. So this concludes this live broadcast on CGTN. I will see you in the next one.